So I just got here to my buddy Junior's house, and he's gonna show me his workshop that I've been waiting to see. And if you need ink, definitely come here also.
It's like a little introduction to what's happening with the whole world here. How we're gonna do a little series and shit. Is that what we're gonna do?
We are talking about the most amazing shop I've ever seen. We decided to put it on film.
Okay.
And I guess we're gonna start with that corner where the best way to call it is the saw table.
Start with the saw table. How about we even start with even the backstory of the whole thing? In 1986, we moved to this home. We built my dad built the house. Been here my whole life. It's kind of cool. And then everything from that wall this way is all an addition. So nobody asked to have this all out for the world to see, and I don't really know how to do that, right? I just built this thing, 30 by 30 square, 2-story thing. We do a podcast in here, and everybody that comes in here wants to hear the story about the this. We'll put a big series together, and we'll walk around. We'll talk about every little thing that's done in here.
So real quick, I just want to give everybody a 360.
Do it, yeah.
So you got some killer shelving over here, which is an amazing feat to start with. And then we've got the pod stage background, or podcast background. And there is so much here that I can't even begin to, that is all Junior's imagination and
deficiency, if you will.
And then over here is his metal workshop. And through there is where the other magic happens, where he does amazing tattoo work upstairs, and that is a whole other series in itself. So we're starting with the saw table.
When I built the shop, I had the idea of having a tattoo studio upstairs, the workshop downstairs, man cave, podcast, whatever you want this to be. This. I pull everything in and out for the podcast. I pull everything in and out to work on stuff. So the first idea, to build the shop, I need all my saws in one spot. I'm a scrap metal guy. Everything you see in here pretty much costs hardly anything. It's all done with garbage. Old parts from just metal, just garbage. Old casters off of cabinets, and just anything I can get my hands on, I'll keep, right? Throughout the years, as I've had the idea to build this shop. So one of the big things we started with was this cart. The idea was to get everything in one spot, so it was a little more compact and mobile. Radial saw, just your regular saw. A miter saw, I guess. Some call it a chop saw. We'll pop this off, where we can remove, so we can get a sheet across here to do on the table saw, right? Some of these things just kind of come about as I was building it. It's a truck box lid from an old, just a big toolbox. A box lid from my old job I worked on. They were throwing that whole thing away. And everything plumbed into one vacuum with a switch for the vacuum and valve, and get the desired saw that you're going for. So this one runs the radial saw, that one runs the table saw, that one runs the planer, and this one runs the joiner. Whatever one you need, you close the rest and open that one. I did it all to one cord. As long as you just have one power, you just plug this into the wall, and every saw runs. Everything will run one at a time, obviously. With the vacuum and a saw, you can just plug in and you're good to go. It's hard to go back to. There's actually a planer right here. But I left just enough room to feed everything through to the other side. The idea is that nothing costs really a penny. The planer, the jointer, I guess.
Does that slide out?
Yeah, it's on a whole different thing. So you just pull these little pins, so you can slide this out.
How are you going to get anything in
here? Clear the hell out. And then I just use these. They're just drawer, heavy duty drawer slide. A guide. Just to pin it where you want to pin it to go in, so it'll stay put, and it has its own. Everything's plumbed to the same vacuum. Hey man, that's the idea with this. Is anybody can do this stuff, man. Just do it. Just do it. I didn't read anything. I don't study anything. I just do it. I don't even know how to say it. That's kind of why we're starting to do this little video. I think people are freaking out to hear about it, and they want to know. I probably should have filmed it as I did it all.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
It is, man. I just did it alone in the dark, and my wife wanted to kill me, and it's fine. Anything you set your mind to, that's the idea of it all. It's all just scrap, man. Just bolts and just weird material holding it all together. Everything in flat black, so you can't see what anything is. That's what I do. The back system, that's pretty cool how that worked too. I had to cut it in half. You can see it's a little tiny little guy. It was a big one. It was in the garbage can. It worked. And this is a lid from a bucket. And I epoxied the lid. I cut the garbage can in half because it was too tall. And then just put a lid of a bucket that snaps over like a 5-gallon bucket, paint bucket. And just epoxied it.
So you got a good strong seal.
Yeah, so it'll fit in that little hole. The joiners, it goes in and out, it had to clear, so these are the ideas that, don't let anything hang you up, just go with it. So that's why I cut the vacuum in half, so we could slide it in past the joiner.
I like how you did this right here with these bars.
Oh yeah.
And your support for your shelf.
Absolutely, to hold the vacuum up. I worked for the power company as a lineman for 25 years, so a lot of it's just stuff with chuck. It's just pipe and conduit and stuff we throw in the dumpster. I'll just grab it and use it to build this kind of stuff. Everything's mounted to that power strip. And you can see it.
You barely make that out. Yeah, they can see it.
It's tightly in its place.
That's awesome.
And to the best it can be dustless, if you will. It's not dustless, but it's more so than not. And the cool thing about doing something like this is it's mobile, man.
Yeah.
So some guys are stuck in the shop with all this ventilation and all these things. And my idea was just, if I needed to, just move it outdoors. It probably weighs 300-400 pounds, something like that.
It rolls easy.
Oh, it rolls super easy. So we just kick the casters and get it out of here. So that was kind of the first thing I built to kind of start building. The need for the planer and the joiner and the saws and the cleanliness of everything was the wood on the walls. It's like the wood on the walls is all okay. Well, they're all the wood. They're power poles. They're power line poles, round power line poles. So we just take and cut them and mill them down and then strip
So
them.
you literally
Strip them.
processed all of this
Every bit of it.
from round poles.
Yep. From make everybody dizzy. It's just a round pole like this. I have a chainsaw mill and I'll just cut the first plank off so the round part's gone. And then you just plank another one. And then you have a board that's however wide the pole is, it'll be that wide. And then just start milling them down, and that's what's mounted all the way around on the walls. Just scrap wood basically. All these saws needed somewhere to be and in and out of the way and all this stuff to do like the wood, because that was kind of the first thing once we framed everything was the metal on the walls and the wood for the look of it all. That's the carton, man. It should be patented, but it's not.
It should be.
Nothing about it. It's absolutely beautiful and perfectly square, anything like that, man. It's make it usable. Do it, and use it. And you kick your wheels, and away you go, and you just move it out of the way or put it wherever you want. Plug it into power, and you got a whole setup right there. I bet it probably took somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20 hours to build it, something like that.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing really purchased in here, other than the speakers, was the cabinets. These big cabinets. They were from Costco, and but they're framed right into the wall, welded into the wall, and built up on stuff, and they don't move at all. And I'm like, I'll keep them casters. And that's what all the stuff on wheels is. These casters from the cabinets. Save things and reuse them for something else. All my hoarding throughout the years has created what we see. So yeah, you can just move this little guy around and put it wherever you want. It's got a nice little nook here. It just slides right in this little hole. Lock your little wheels and she's out of the way. And this is kind of where I started. I mounted that cabinet by the door and saved that little hole, and that actually fit there, so it worked out just right. A lot less planning, a lot less pressure on yourself and just start doing it, and it just happens. I really think it's a thing, man. I think people put too much thought into things. Start doing it, man, and it'll just start coming alive for you. Nothing in here is anything it seems. I bought these cabinets and stripped them and made them. All they are is the cabinet, and I did everything else to them pretty much. So
You said you got air everywhere, right?
every cabinet has air, 300-foot hose in each cabinet. This is the one I got with the fairly poking out of it. Just so you can take off running with it and handle your head.
Those multi-angle heads are
Yeah.
priceless.
They're incredible, dude. And they save hoses from
Yeah.
breaking and breaking. And then all my tools have one too, so they'll move like this. One of the cool things I did was trimmed the bottom of them. Got rid of the cat. I don't like things to roll under my cabinets and dust. And all.
I don't blame you.
So I put kick plates on every cabinet so you can't even see underneath. They did come with these. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, they come with these, but I painted them. They did. They come with these plates, yes. They glued me a little board on the side so I could write my projects for days on. The entire shop has a couple things. Probably easier to see with this table. See that little metal bar right there? This it's actually a torsion bar off of the power line. It goes all the way around the shop at this exact height. I think it's about 4 foot, all the way around, and it separates the wood from the metal. But the idea with that was not only decorative, it looks cool. There's rivets welded everywhere. It makes it kind of look cool, but it's everything in here is mounted to that track. So
Really?
anything metal in the shop is welded. These are all welded right to the wall. They'll never move. So that was the idea for that, was to keep everything in place, and also to crimp a ground on if you're welding,
Right.
and you can weld anywhere and have a ground, a readily available ground anywhere
That's
if
genius.
needed. That was the only thing I knew I wanted to do. Other than that, it was all pretty much just winging it. I had an idea for all the working and the material and the tools to be over there. So this corner was kind of a goofy shape inside, so I just made kind of some shelves out of just junk, just old lattice towers we were throwing away. Just storage basically over here. The thing above it is the garage doors framed in to them, a system that goes from the wall all the way to the back, so you can put storage on top of there. The city, I wanted to build a twice this big, like it was a 40 by 60, like 40 by 60 is what I wanted, but this is as big as they let me go, is 30 by 30. That put me in a mind of, I gotta just crunch and make this all really, really fit. It's a lot of stuff in a little spot, and that's what started coming to mind with some of this storage stuff. I haven't done anything on this side, but this side has the storage up top. Once we got all the storage figured out, then I started to do all the patina and all that cool stuff you see everywhere to do it. It's taken me, 3 years I think to build it all. Still working on it all. But I'll never quit working on it. But this is all my old lineman stuff. Old power line stuff, my old belts, and my first belt I ever had as a lineman, and then just old tools and material that we have in that trade. My first set of line boots are up there.
Those look pretty worn, dude.
They've been rebuilt 7 times. Those are worth the story.
7
Oh,
times?
those are the old, mine right there. Mine right here. That's my pair I got from an old lineman. This is my pair right here. These are the old West Coast 16-inch climbing boots. But I rebuilt these boots.
When you
7
say
times.
rebuilt, what do you mean?
So all the material, all this leather,
Uh-huh.
falls apart. These soles break from climbing. You can't even move them. They're like ski boots. The shanks break. The soles.
So
fibers
there's a
fall
metal
off.
shank inside?
Yeah,
That's just like the old
can't
jungle
move.
boots.
yeah. For climbing poles, man. That's what they're for. Yeah.
That's where gnarly as hell.
7 times. Old Lucky down there in Lehigh. Thank you, Lucky and Lehigh. Rebuilt these for me. They got the little extra toe piece for as you rub the pole as you climb, so they don't wear out your toe. So there's lots of this stuff around. Like nostalgic, is that the word?
Yeah.
Around the shop, there's a lot of that old memorabilia. So that's what those boots were. They're just those weren't mine. Those were a pair I just held or whatever.
You know, since the first time you showed me all of this, I'm I know I've got 100 different questions about this or this or this. And then every time I come back in here and we start talking about it again, it's just like brain dump.
Something new.
Because there's 100 things new.
Right. And I want to help, like, stop me wherever, because I want people to know they can do this stuff. Anybody, you can do this. Who wants a plain white garage door?
Especially with this motif.
Not happening.
No.
So what do? We call it junioring the door. I don't. So my wife was going to kill me 100 times over when I started this whole project. What are we doing? And now that we're to this point, we're getting it. Just a plain garage door that I made look like a dang old whatever you want to call it. These are just foam balls painted and glued to it to make it look like rivets is the basic idea for that. It's for looks. But there's some useful things about the garage door. I cut in vent holes. There's 2 on each side. This little piece of metal comes down, ammo box. For ventilation for the we'll get into all that later, but the painting and the welding. And
Oh, yeah.
it needs air to pull. The fire needs air to pull. There's a lot to it. So I needed some ventilation holes that I could plug or unplug to control the amount of pressure in here. I thought my wife was going to kill me for that one. Why are you cutting holes in my garage door? It makes a lot of sense. So for the winter time, you don't want to open the garage, it gets cold.
Right.
So I do everything in here with the doors closed. It needed ventilation. That was the idea for the holes there. We actually need a couple more. For now, it works pretty good. We get doing the podcast in here, and we had one huge problem in here. In the summertime, it was fine because the daylight thing. In the winter, it's dark early. In the summer, it's dark late. We start the podcast at 7:30. So in the summertime, it's too bright.
Right.
So these are windows under here. So if you open that all the way, the garage door had windows in it. Has windows in it. My dad was in here, as I do constantly, thinking of a cheap, easy way to. Now look how bright it is in here. It's unbelievable. To block the light out if needed. And all I just thought was to grab a little bit of metal. I just need a hinged thing that will close and open at my leisure. Screws and stuff, you can angle them however you want them for height, and then they magnetize down. So just to hang there is one thing. When you open the garage door, they'd be hanging straight down.
Right.
You'll be able to drive in here.
So, that's what these are. It's magnets.
So I put magnets on them. So when the doors open, they don't hang straight down. They just stay magnetized to this track. I've never seen anything like any of this. I just do these things, and I don't know. That's why I'm glad you wanted me to do this, because I don't know how to. I just do it with that. I don't even know how. I don't know how. I just start going at it. I just needed shutters of some sort, and it was a great idea until I opened the door. I'm like, God, they're gonna hang down. And other than that, it's a pretty simple and cool looking little fix. And when you're done with the light, if you don't need the light, you just close these. Little, and they just magnetize down. And it's old metal tin roofing from a barn, from some old barn out in, can't remember where. Stuff is priceless, man. Keep it. You can use it for anything. And it looks cool. I like the look of it. Well, none of this is planned. Is the point to all of this video, all of these videos.
So you never sat
plan
down
means. I just go by.
and said, I want this here, I want this here.
Nope.
It was just, it all happened as it came together.
Yep. The only thing I knew was I needed this wall to be the work wall. It was the only idea. I need that wall as a work wall. So I knew tools and everything on this side, everything else was just kind of have at it. The wife started buying cabinets, and how many you think we need? And I'm like, I don't know. Just grab them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We just started just getting stuff. I can't stress enough. Planning is the enemy. It keeps things from happening. It stalls it. Too much planning is going to stall it out. It's going to make it.
Those OCD people, I have to have everything in line,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to have every inch accounted for, and if I don't, then my head just...
Which is what's happening here. It's just start going, and it just starts happening. So that's what I meant with sitting down, like drawing it out, trying to plan where everything's going to be. I think that's the fun and the excitement and the journey and the craziness you see is just from actually doing it
Yeah.
and not trying to think it all out.
If you could have explained to Erica the grand scheme from day one,
Mm-hmm.
would you have had less disagreements throughout the build?
She is so found with me to let, if I'm on an idea of just doing something, she doesn't even question, worry, any of those things. She just lets it happen. It's the late nights and the unbelievable hours that was getting frustrating.
Yeah.
But she doesn't care. She just wants me to do it because she knows it's going to be this, something crazy. So that was it. She didn't, even upstairs was the same thing. There was no plan. She just started getting furniture. I started getting flooring. We don't even really collab. There's no talking about it. We understand collectively that creative is a very spontaneous thing. Creating isn't here. Creating is, that's planning, that's thinking. That's okay. It's part of it, I guess. I just knew I wanted a building and just go.
Yeah.
So for us, it works good just to start doing. She wouldn't even want to even try to understand what I'm going to do because it'd be hard to explain it. Because I
Yeah.
truly don't even know.
Right.
Other than a workshop, my shop, whatever. It just kind of started evolving as I went. And then it turned into the podcast thing. Then it turned into this. So it just keeps evolving into more and more things. And then we need a
Right.
wood stove. Then we need air conditioning. That was all very much afterthought. But doing it's the fun part. The working on it and then learning it and doing it's the fun part to me. So all the way even to the ceiling, just more for looks, like the old lattice looking things up there. That's all just the plastic insulation holder in the attic things, and I just paint them.
I would have never thought that that was what it was.
And then roof nails. So those little nails up there, they're green. You can see them if I shine a light on them. Or you know, your roof material below your shingles. I had 10 million extra of those when we roofed it, so I used them as rivets and painted them. Don't get anything, just use what you have. That's how this all come about. Behind all the lattice things is lighting and all that for the podcast. So that's kind of why it's part of it. There's a security system in the whole entire building. And then you can see a little camera over here. Hi, camera. There's Post Malone. There's a camera right there watching us all the time. And there's a little video monitor over here you can see it on. There's Post Malone, little scrap metal guy that I built. Posty,
Oh
come
my
get
goodness.
this. You see his little tattoos in his face.
That's wicked.
He's got nails. It's all just stuff. All I buy is the little skull, and the rest of it's just garbage, man. A little beer and a cigarette. It's just a pipe with 2 washers welded on it. It's very, very simple, just easy nothingness. Wait, he's gonna come get this. I know he is. You better get here, Posty. Nuts and bolts and nails and just dumb stuff, man. I love it. It's how my little brain works, and it shows as you go through the shop as we do this. That's how I work. It's very just spur of the moment stuff. So I'm a lineman, I said before, 25-year lineman. This is the dusty little bugger. Linemen will get it. Other people may not, but it's just a little crane standing the tower up. That's actually not even how it works as far as hinging them, but it looks cool.
And that's all scrap.
Every bit of it. And I can walk through every little thing about it. You can kind of see it if you look closely. The nut and bolt for the winch drum is just a nut and bolt. Nuts and bolts for the wheels and axles and the little outriggers, and very, very simple concept. Hard to kind of do, I guess, but just this is nothing. This is some garbage. It's pipes and tubes and bolts and screws and just
And a bunch of hours.
get creative, yeah. And a whole lot of welding, and a whole lot of my time and my heart. It goes in everything I touch. They all get little insignias on them, little plates, and I'll date them and everything. This one was 2020, so that was a year old. And then they're for sale. They just sit here for sale, and they're on Instagram. People can find us on Instagram. They know where it's at.
What's your Instagram handle?
We're Highline Tattoo, we're Highline Tattoo Fab, and we're the 27th Hour Podcast. All the above. If they're watching this video, chances are they got it figured
Cool.
out. So yeah, that's pretty much how we come across there. Is I guess between the circle, these are the cabinets again on this side now. Same thing, you got air in every cabinet. This one actually has lights. I haven't got to that side yet.
I am kind of jealous about the air.
I haven't even organized them. They're fucking nightmare. This is slammed in here and out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. But these cool little afterthoughts, like they're dark. It's hard to see in there, so it's little lights in them. You get it. The only cool thing in there is the air and the lights, basically, and storage. Power strip. That's really cool, actually. A lot of people overlook it. It's funny when they see it. They're like, "What the hell?" So I welded the two cabinets together and welded them to the wall, and had this little gap in between because of distances between the door and yada yada. So I needed an idea for something in the middle of this cabinet about that wide, and fixing and weird stuff like that right here, and you got power right here. Same thing with the toe kick plates too, or nothing will go under the cabinets. I like that. I like nothing under the cabinets. Paint, lots of paint.
Garage stuff.
Lots of stuff, garage stuff. So cabinets, do lots of cabinets. Everything's, like I said, tied or welded or fused together. Everything's foamed. Like this one's glued and foamed, and this is not Reuben. It's part of this. So it's just a vanity, a little cheesy vanity we ripped out of a house we were demoing. It didn't even have a drawer. I put the drawer in it. Garbage wire, and just I keep little stuff. One cool thing is the handles. I guess we can talk about that quick. They're all, this is real copper. To make a cool door handle, if you want, for your garage, is 290s in a piece. Solder them, and there's a washer soldered in the 90 right here. You can't see it, and then I just screw into that. I like the idea of that look. There's a light under here as well. That's what this is for. And that was more afterthought. The lighting when you're walking by is very bright in your face, so as we go around you'll see there's more of these to keep it from away from your face and more shot down toward where it needs to be. This wall's actually going to come out. That's a long story. But for now, it'll be storage. And just some of my old cool stuff that it means a lot to me. My old hats and insulator stuff, just old lineman stuff. That's actually a ventilation system. That is a huge fan that's in the other garage. And it's on a switch. I'll hit that little switch. It's quite the little fan.
Oh yeah.
So it moves air like big time. Make it hit this, and I'm gonna duct it and make more ducts out of it, basically, so you can coin wherever you want them to go. But for now, it was just to get air moving if needed be. Everything's for looks here, kind of, but behind this is a vacuum system that's going into the shop upstairs, so I just covered it all with this old cool just garbage to hide the big vacuum thing going up into the ceiling right there. It's basically
Real quick, share with everybody
this guy.
who this guy is.
That's my grandpa. His name's Marion Junior Hammond. He was the chief of police for Royce City Police Department for 40 years, I believe, and command sergeant major in the U.S. Army for a long, long time. Had a lot going on.
Is that a double diamond?
That is, I'm not sure what that double diamond is, but probably.
That's my old unit.
I don't know if you can see it. Maybe it is. I can't. It is just a diamond. I don't know.
If it's a double diamond.
All of his stuff is. He has so much stuff that he never talked about. None of us really knew what he was all about as far as all the decorated, the things on his. I don't know. I know he was a big deal. That's all I know. God, when he passed away, it's been a long time. 15 years, probably, something like that. He was a cool dude, man. He's in my necklace right here, so he's still with us. Yeah, great guy, man. I miss. He's my best friend. That was my homie right there. Dropping down from that would be my dad's Lyman Cableman book. This is our Bible as linemen. That's my dad. Yeah, that's cool. So this is a 5th edition Lyman Cableman book. They're kind of hard to come by. They're just old. Yeah, so people power line stuff. If it didn't make sense before, maybe it will now. So when I speak of lineman things, if you don't know, that's what it is. It's the stuff you guys see out on the road. That's what I've done for 25 years of my career there. I just quit here a year ago. It's kind of sad, but here we go. I have the 9th edition. My dad's was the 5th, so I thought it'd be cool to keep it. So every guy has their favorite hat, right? I wore this hat out. My God, I wore this hat out. But there's his pin from being a journeyman lineman. He topped out in 1986.
That was very cool.
There's flies stuck in it. Gotta just. But yeah, that's my dad's old pin, so I'm very proud of that. I keep it close. That's when he journeyed out, is the word. Hanging on the rhino. If you don't know what the rhino's all about, there's a rhinoceros right there and a creepy little head guy. You ever heard the story about rhinoceroses? They're the coolest animal on the planet. It's my favorite animal. They're the only animal on the planet that we know of that will charge fear instead of run away from fear. It goes toward it and it engages what it's afraid of. And I feel that's who I am. Because they are afraid, but they choose to go at it instead of run. Rhinos and ravens, they're my things. So they're everywhere. As we get through here, you'll see them. So a creepy, cool little doll. I don't know what the hell happened here, but he's just cool. So I keep him.
He had a rough day.
He did, and he makes weird noises and shit too. But oh, how's that for scary? My garage door openers are right here, so you can open and close any garage door. All three of them from right there. Old insulators, power line insulators, for looks kind of thing. They're all glued together and don't move. I'm big on that. That's a big thing for me. Everything stays put. This is the old door from the old garage. Oh, by the way, that's right.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Right here. Thank you.
I saw the gender party.
The reveal.
That was awesome.
Yes, it was fun, dude. That was a fun time.
How long?
January. She's due in January. So we'll see. We're open December 30th. That's my wife's birthday. We'll see if that
Cool.
happens.
Do you guys have a rifle for her yet?
Yes.
Baby little rifle?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the old door. That's the old garage. You can hear the wife in there. This is a door. On a little track system. Because I don't like to see in there. We don't like to hear in there. We're doing a podcast, so we just did a little makeshift, goofy little plywood door. And that was how we got out of the garage to go outside with the old system that we had here. So we just knocked it out and framed it in, made it look cool and old and rustic. And the boot dryer. Every guy needs a boot dryer in their shop.
Yes.
You gotta have a boot dryer. It's a thing. It's an absolute must. There's one problem about the boot dryer is you gotta sit down to do your boot stuff. Okay. Just frame you in a little
way.
frame you in a little chair. You sit right here. You do your boots when you come off work.
This is the beginning of the rabbit hole.
Mindful maybe things. They just come about.
You've got a lot of things like this around here.
The whole shop's full of it. It is full of it, Lyle. It's just a little shower, flip down, waterproof. It's a shower chair. They're made for showers. When homes are getting demoed, talk to your county, talk to your city, whoever you're with, and see what you can get in, see if you can get some of that stuff. They're just gonna demo it. They doze them. Around here in Utah, they're doing a lot of road work and big freeway coming through. They've demoed all the homes on Gentile. There's a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Really?
So it's sad, and you can get anything, fixtures, just their homes, man. You can get whatever you want out of them. If you need stuff, and that's some.
So you just got to clear it with the city or the county?
Yeah, call whoever owns it, whomever at the point owns that. Sometimes it's the staker, whoever owns the house. You just gotta. I worked at the power company. I have the first hand on how it worked, but you can get a hold of people. Call your city, see who's owning the home. And the fire department comes in and they do their thing later, so they're just going to burn them down anyway. They burn most of them for training, and then they doze them. A lot of cool stuff in them, man. A lot of it is
Wow.
A lot of the stuff is that. It's kind of just for looks. The hosing system, that's all fog system for my podcast. So it runs through. Here's the fog machine. We'll put all that together and show that all some other time. That pretty much brings us to this half, I guess.
So today we've covered right here, all the way around it right to literally that pole.
So this half, yep. Every guy needs, guys need what they need. I need to lift and build and create.
Block and tackle, chains.
You gotta have rigging. We call it rigging. So I built this, there's a metal beam back here. There's another one right here. They're kind of covered, they're hard to see. These. So these are metal posts into the floors. So they're mounted right to the floor. And that is our uprights for the crane system. Gantry crane system that goes all the way across the shop. And you gotta put it on a retractable cord. So you can walk right across the shop to pick something up. So you can just pick something up. So that was definitely an afterthought kind of thing. That thing is $100, I believe, at Harbor Freight, guys. Nothing is a big deal in here. I did buy the winch, but nothing's as big of a deal as we make it to be. Little cord reel. To reel it up as it comes all back. It's on a big I-beam. It just rolls itself on up as you drag it, man. And it stops, right? Okay, so the cord reel's getting a little wore out because I used the shit out of it. That's basically the idea for the crane is across the shop this way. We've got one more to do this way. I haven't got to that yet. I got an old one here for looks. But up in the corner there's just rigging, ropes, hoists, shivs, chains, grips, stuff and things and bolts and picking and rigging and by the way, that's Dad. And then everything up in here is pretty much for looks. Chains, the ram's heads, this is real, this big ass heavy set and chain. It's a power line thing as well. So it's hard to, unless you do the power line thing, understand some of it like that, but it is what it is. It's for looks, it looks cool. All here, these are just baseboards, they're painted. This is actually wood. The rest of them are all metal. These are wood. Just paint them to look like metal and
Those
weld nails.
PVC pipe
No,
hands?
these?
Yeah.
These are actual real bolts.
Okay.
That I power line stuff again. You just cut the thread bolted piece off and weld a nail on the back of it and hit them in with a hammer. This is just a baseboard painted to look like wood, and then the door, same thing. I haven't quite finished it either. Is a beautiful white door that I made look like this. I rust the doors. I have special paints and things I use for doors. If people are interested, they can hit me out and DM us, and I'll let you know actually in detail how I do everything if you truly want to know, but I won't spend too much time with it. Spray paint, heavy spray paint, and then sawdust. You throw sawdust on it and it sticks to it and it looks like rust. Yeah, you can see the texture in it. That's just sawdust. It's heavy, heavy spray paint, super wet spray paint, and then throw sawdust on it, let it dry, and paint it again. And once you're done, you just take a little orange, actually, blotch orange with your dry brush orange over this, and it is gorgeous. And handles and everything's got to be painted and look different than what it was. But it's all new. This is all brand new garage. It's a brand new. Everything is brand new. I made it look as old as I could and heavy as I could, and broke down and rusty as I could. There's a Raven. Build lights out of old power line parts. Just garbage, scrap metal, riveted metal. Yeah, it's all just power line stuff, chains, and it's like an old brass switch part, an old substation. This is actually an old Corona ring. Linemen will know what a Corona ring is. It actually was made to sell, and the person hasn't come to get it yet, so it's just hanging up there. I was never going to put a lamp there, so I didn't know where to put it, so this is where it is. And then all the just cool patinaed wood and so power line arms just to look cool is all it really is. This is all for looks up here. All the wood stuff here.
That looks like something you'd find out of a ghost town, like out in the West Desert.
This?
Yeah.
These are actual arms that hold our power line system up. That's what these are. That's what the holes are in them. The old power line arms are everywhere, and this is called tracking. When they do this black right here, it's called tracking. So it's actually, that's what starts our fires everywhere. It's our old material and our old everything breaking down in the rain and the dirt and the weather. It'll start tracking through the insulators and it starts the arms on fire. That's the first sign of it right here. That's what we fix. And when we do that, we'll just cut them down and throw them away. But I save them. Do stuff like this with them. build stuff out of them. I think it's beautiful wood. It's gorgeous. I love it. Absolutely love it. Everything is just weird. Like this is a little bolt so I can get up up there. This is another drawer lid from the same box we did over here. It's the other half of that drawer lid I used just for a tabletop. There's water. I have a water hose, 100-foot water hose, all my torch hoses, and a retractable power cord. 100-foot power cord. It just will go out and go wherever you're going. This is all handmade. There's nowhere to hang this, right? So I didn't know, I don't want torches and have to put them on and off. I wanted a way to hold the torch up itself. So I just built this goofy contraption with rebar and a spring and just some scrap metal that would hold, just grab something to hold it. All I'm saying is you can use your imagination and build anything you want. All the boxes are in place, things are going nowhere.
What did we spend down here? 2.5 hours that first time?
Probably. I didn't film a stitch of it.
No.
There's a lot of the big can lights everywhere, the goofy painter lights. That's all for the podcast stuff. And we'll do that on our next little thing, maybe when we do the other half of the shop and show. But I just want to showcase and show people you can do anything you want, man. You do it. Yeah, just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't just quit thinking about it. Quit worrying about it. Just start doing stuff, and then it just happens. It really does. And then weld a whole bunch of old metal together, put it on your ceiling, and make a cool ass ceiling for yourself out of it. But it's incredibly super, whatever that is, soundproof. You can hear it when you come down the hallway and come into here and close the door. You can hear the difference. It's really, there's so much stuff in here. It soaks up all the sound. But it is all insulated and there's a lot to it, man. It's very multi-layered. Obviously, you can tell that.
You know, just for anybody who might think they would want to see a second or third or fourth little episode of this right here is mind-blowing, the hours and time and thought he's put into this. So,
and we run the tattoo shop here, so anybody that wants to come check it out is more than welcome. I don't just show anybody, it's not like that. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you. It means a lot to my heart. It's my little safe world in there, so I don't just want to drag people in here. If they want to see it, I would love to show people this place. What's that?
look how cool this is. How
You
he
want to
sorts.
do the ladder?
You should do the ladder.
The way my little brain ticks is space, using all the space we have available, every inch of it, make it look cool and still usable. That ladder, it's really, really hard on my shoulders to pick it up and down. So the way linemen think is we rig things, we put it on pulleys, whatever, so build the thing, for my ladder to hang on. I mean, there's a carabiner and a rope involved, and a ladder. So it's all just pulley systems. We hit a pulley there. We come down with two-part, makes it lighter. Go back up all the way across, all the way to that pulley, down the wall to the cleat. So we're 10 feet away from where it even goes is where we pull it up and down from. So I needed somewhere to store this heavy-ass ladder, because it's heavy.
And to make sure
But-
it wouldn't fall out.
Yeah, I built a thing, contraption out of just old junk. They're power line braces, and you can see the garbage metal. I don't even paint it. Little imagination, man. You can do anything you want. It's insane. So I just wanted a way to get rid of this heavy ladder and make it super easy and effective, and you can actually look kind of cool. So you simply,
Simple but effective. It's not gonna.
absolutely. So that was cool. I just needed a way to lift it and shove it into the ceiling. So I can just use a little strap here. Anything will do. Little system to hold it and drag it that way. So it needs to be pulled, not lifted. If you lift it, it'll just shove it into the ceiling. So you got to kind of drag it that way. So that's why I put the sheet of cleaner about over, this way to lift it and pull it at the same time. Where we pull it, it sucks it up tight. It lifts hinges against the hook right here and then pulls it too. And you just cleat the rope off with a little Lowe's bot little cleat. Or I don't know what I got it, probably Lowe's. Lowe's, you better sponsor me. Little screws to just hang it up here. Oh man, Well planned, just did it. Lot to it, but nothing to it. There's the monitor I was telling you about, the cameras. So that shot we can see everything. We got the whole thing in there, so you can see us right here. Little postie right there. Grab the big the big one. This is a PTZ camera upstairs, and I can move it manually from right here.
That's cool.
Wherever I want and look and see. You can listen to it too, their audio as well. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal, but it's not. You can do it.
Just get started.
You can do it. Start, man. Just start. Everything's afterthought for me. It's okay. This is what come of no planning. Obviously, there's a lot to it, but some people like slick, clean, and not stuff. I like stuff. So this is what I got. But by demand of people asking about it, apparently there's something to it, and everybody wants to see it. So here you go.
Absolutely.
So think less, do more, and get dirty. I guess that's how you do it. So I guess until the next video, thanks Lyle. Thanks everybody.